Conversations. I'm Bill, and my friend Bob over here. We're the leaders of this wonderful project. Today we have a very interesting guest. I doubt if she remembers maybe the only time I actually met her. Shars Landing, yes. Ran into her at Shars Landing, probably with my wife. I can't remember, but she invited me to a musical thing here at the lake, and we didn't come. My wife and I didn't come. I didn't know who she was. I was new in town. I think we did have a conflict of schedule, and then I found out afterwards what I missed. And so I think we'll learn more about that today. I know that she's a wonderful lady, very well known in the music industry. I think particular jazz. And I've got lots of family in jazz through my wife's brothers are both professional jazz musicians. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this interview today, and I'm going to turn it over to Bob to formally introduce our guest.
Well, I've been to not a house concert, but a concert with your wife's family.
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And I've been to a couple of house concerts at the lake, Muhlenberg's, but I've never been invited to Sarah's, and I live right there. That's straight across the lake from her. Never been invited to her house.
Well, you probably get to stand out in the dock and hear it, right?
Well, if they left the doors open, most I would hear it. But anyway, Sarah reminds me that we most likely first met when I was on school board, and she said she had definite opinions. She had opinions about this, and apparently I was fodder for that as negotiations with the local teachers in those days. But yeah, so it was great. But and I saw you just a month ago, and you accommodated another friend to tie up his houseboat here because he had no place to tie it for the winter.
And I checked with two neighbors on each side.
Yes,
explaining the situation, that it was only here for a few months, and that I didn't want to end up on Sprout Lake Chatterbox.
Houseboats. We went back to those days when debates over houseboats.
I think with the houseboats, it's been pretty good. Nobody minds them going through. They've got places to go, and they're monitored, and so hopefully that stays the way it is.
Yeah, I think he also charges enough now that you're getting a little higher end caliber of renters.
Possibly.
It'd be nice, yeah.
I couldn't afford one.
No. We're here. It's a casual, consequential conversations, and we just want to know what the Valley, what inspires you, what might interesting things that have happened.
Sure. First of all, I grew up in an area of Victoria in Oak Bay called the Uplands, and my dad's idea of a holiday in those days is he had a 10-foot runabout. He would pile with 500 pounds of camping equipment and put in at Yubo, and we'd go up to a white sand beach just by McKay Creek on Lake Cowichan and camp. He'd build the picnic table, he'd build the john, and we get the water out of the creek, and we camp and fish for 2 weeks. That was his idea of a holiday, and so
sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So and for some reason my mom didn't want to come, but he'd take at least 3 of us kids, and so I always loved being at the lake. And then when I was applying for jobs, I guess I was about 20, just turned 22, finished my teacher certification, and I got about 6 job offers, and Port Alberni was the farthest south. In those days, I have to say that some people thought that women shouldn't be band teachers, #MeToo. But I was offered an elementary position, 3 schools, but I'm really glad I did that, because what I ended up doing was I ended up conducting the musical theater orchestra for Anything Goes, and which of course had Dave Auld and Greg Falls and all these, Claudio Fontanato, another great sax player, and that was Greg's and my courting days. He was already a band teacher here, and we used to go to Polly's, and this is when you could do a rehearsal till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night and then have energy to go to the pub,
Go to the pub after.
and then for an hour or two, and then go home, and then wake up early in the morning and go to work. Yeah, those are the days, right? And so I within 2 months of me dating Greg, he's not here, so I can.
You can, you can.
He proposed, and so he knew, I knew, and we got married in 1981. We bought our first house, of course, in Port Alberni, but I had managed to. We got a bit of an inheritance, so we managed to buy a lot at the lake, 2 doors down here, and we were going to build a house, but in 1984. It was actually cheaper. My cousin was living here, and her husband got a job managing the mill in Tassus, and because he was having to go into rooms full of guys, and this is kind of dark, rooms full of guys, and not only tell them that not only would their job never not be there anymore, but or that they were laid off and their job wouldn't be there. So we were able to purchase this. And it was cheaper than building. So that's how we ended up. I love the sticks. I don't want to, Victoria was a nice city. It's a bit too crowded for me now. I get my city fix from Toronto when we go to visit our kids. So that's anyway how I've been here now since 1979, and I think they'll probably have to haul me out of this house in a coffin. But, I love it here.
My feeling is exactly living across from you here. This little area that you're in, Sterling on Crescent, has a few teachers here, though. Okay, it was interesting at a time, that teachers. Well, first of all, Polly's. That was the teacher's pub. I remember going to Polly's.
Where was Polly's? I never heard of it.
The Hospitality Inn.
Oh, that was
quite a pub, quite amazing.
I went there just when we moved here. We went down there.
It was a happening place, except for you didn't always want to go there and see teachers.
Right. Well, or the teachers would say, your kids would come to us in class and say, "My dad saw you at Polly's last night." Well, wait a minute, you was there too.
Yeah, as if you're not allowed to. Yeah.
No, the music program here in Alberni, and great to Greg and Sarah, it was second to none in a lot of school districts, and there's a lot of great talented people came out of that.
I'd like to speak to that too. Like Barry Miller and Barry and Pat were really amazing mentors to us. Pat taught our kids piano lessons, and Barry, well, I think it was important to have a lot of kids involved. They should choose to be involved. But they're not forced. So he kind of set the tone, and Greg and I, interesting for a few years there, we were at 2 different schools, and we actually would have to compete sometimes at festivals.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it would have been not so great if one of us really sucked at it, but you'd get 1 mark more than me, or I'd get 1 mark more. And so it was
awesome.
Pretty neat. So we handled it. And when Barry retired, Greg moved to the high school, and then they closed my school, Mount Klitza, and I ended up at the high school teaching with Greg. And again, we lived together, we taught together, but we didn't drive to work together. I'm a morning person, and now that there's actually 3 teachers at the high school, grade 8 to 12, doing band, and they're doing an awesome job. We're so pleased. We're really happy that they've continued to build the band program and keep people interested, because it's not just recruiting and making them want to be there, but also encouraging them to stay all the way through.
So the acoustics in the new theater at the new high school versus the old auditorium, can you tell me? Is there?
Really, I can't. I
remember the old auditorium when I went to the school was excellent.
It was they're both fine. Yeah. As far as I can tell, the nice thing about the old auditorium was, of course, it was almost 1,000 seats.
Yeah.
The new one is 500, but
yeah.
I think we're really fortunate to have
one.
It's a
one.
beautiful
There's-
auditorium. Yeah.
There's there, and because I one of the things I do in volunteer in and have done since the early 90s is I'm involved with the Student Jazz Festival in basically running it, but also with the help of a lot of band teachers, and we've been trying to keep it in Nanaimo, but it's it's not easy because none of the schools have an actual theater. They have like something like a gym or a multi-purpose room. So yeah, we are lucky to have what we have.
Have the schools cut back on music though in general? I know they were at least.
Do you know it's not really. It has a lot to do with the teacher.
Yeah.
Qualified teachers. All right. What the university we did lose the program, the jazz music program at Vancouver Island University, which was really too bad because they are a university that trains people to teach.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. That was a big loss. Where was I going with this? So generally, if you have a good administrator and a good school board that encourages music and also timetabling how they offer it, for instance, and then it also requires recruiting. And if you've got lots of students involved that want to be there, their parents also want to be there. If there's just one thing that will keep the students in school, whether it's a sport they love or music or being in drama or whatever,
whatever interest and it could be rugby, but whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, important.
Yeah.
So I went with the Pacific Salmon Foundation. I got up to the Queen Charlotte's Haida Gwaii on a fish trip many years back, and I ended up rooming with Phil from.
Phil Dwyer.
Phil Dwyer.
Oh, Phil Dwyer.
Yeah,
He is. Well, he actually. I mean, he's an amazing musician.
Yeah.
Both with main instruments, sax and piano. When my first experience playing jazz, because way back in the 60s and 70s, we were mostly trained to do classical music.
Yes.
It was in like 1980 when I would go with Greg, who is a trombone player, my husband now, and it was my first experience. Bill Cave ran a jazz band down in Qualicum, Parksville, called the Aerosmith Big Band, and Phil Dwyer was a grade 9 and played the alto sax, and Claudio Fontanato from Port Alberti played first alto. Pat Collins, who is now a famous bass player, playing bass, and Bill Cave, of course, everybody knew Bill Cave, and was sort of the leader and played the trumpet. Phil, I remember going into rehearsal one time, and here he is just wailing away at the piano, and way better than I would ever play jazz piano. And he is he was so talented, and he just but it's not easy being a jazz musician. You fight a lot of demons, and he was a really successful one, and so he decided to go to law school, and he's a lawyer, but he's still playing all the time because
Central Island has so many.
We've been
amazing people around the Central Island in music.
Yeah,
and we had in one of our earlier interviews we talked about Gordy Brand. Now, I don't know if you ever knew Gordon Brand.
He played for
an absolute genius on a piano who talked about having demons. If you could get Gordy sober someplace, he could play anything.
Yeah, I remember when I knew that. Well, here's another funny story was, my parents tried to make me more graceful, so my mom put me in ballet in Victoria in grade 5, which we know is too late now, but grade 5 and 6. And at the end of grade 6, doing ballet, when I decided not to continue with it, nobody argued with me.
You're going to stay. You better stay.
And so I knew then that if our daughter was going to do dance, she should start. And so she started at 4 years old. And the only place I could possibly send her was, of course, to Pat Cummings and Alice because
Yeah.
and that was kind of the school. And yeah, she went all the way through and really enjoyed her dance. It was part of it.
I had a grandson that went too far, all the way to Juilliard for 4 years.
That is so amazing.
That talent didn't come from my side of the gene pool. My dad was a concert violinist, had 7 violins, custom-built violins, and my parents sent me for piano lessons to Mrs. Seaton's out at Great Central Lake in town site there, off the school bus for piano lessons. It did not. Talent missed a generation.
Yeah. So, well, that's and your grandson is now in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Amazing.
It's a little. It's concerning, but to him at 25, 24 years old, it's
Like
it's just normal. I don't.
Wow.
And Tel Aviv's a beautiful city, and my son went and visited there and said, "Wow,
really,
it's
yeah.
quite a." And you just came back from
Well, we
non-direct
we weren't there, but we were in a lot of big,
places
beautiful
that-
cities and music. Oh man, I grew up without a lot of music, and but my wife's family very musical, and it's just one of these things I miss.
So we're about 10 days from now. I'll be in Oaxaca City, and in Oaxaca City in the town square, musicians. I've been there.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazed me. The quality of the musicians in the town square at night. The concert quality.
It's my favorite story about that place is I thought we were in the town square and I thought I'd order something like chili rellenos because my friend Barb Stevenson makes such good ones. And so Gray, my husband, is snickering and he says, "So is it a little crunchy?" And sure enough, there was crickets.
Grasshoppers.
Oh, can't do it. I couldn't do it. I can't. No, couldn't do it.
Our daughter and Jan and our daughter are gonna. We just looked at a menu and they're gonna have the grasshoppers.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
And they're live?
Tell me that. I don't know if I believe them.
And they're live?
No.
Oh, they're fried.
No.
They're crunchy though.
Oh, jeez. Carnio.
Yeah, probably a lot of protein, but yeah, not much. No, yeah.
So we're done.
That's yeah, it's beautiful there, and a lot of people are choosing to do sort of inner Mexico.
So I just had another experience last weekend. We got tickets and invited. They sent me to boarding school because I was a bad little bugger.
Which one?
Middle school, St. Michael's. School. Oak Bay. I know Oak Bay very well. I rated every plum tree. I know the Uplands quite well because I went to U Vic. Yeah, and at that time I was in the old Widdiscosin College portion.
Yeah,
and I ran into the Uplands post and I drove my dad's car one night. So I've been to the Uplands. But last weekend we got McPherson Theatre for St. Michael's University School's Les Mis, put all by the grade 8 to 12s, and it was not quite, but close to Broadway quality.
it's amazing. It's wonderful. A lot of the schools are doing musicals, and at least every second year, a lot of them. And the jazz festival that I run out of the Nanaimo Student Jazz Festival. SMU, St. Michael's, their teachers bringing a jazz band, a jazz combo, and an R&B band. That's a new thing that we have an R&B program at ADSS, run by Ron Gaucher, and he's doing a great job of it. And it's like I think a little bit more of a thinking rock band, if that makes sense, because they got horns, they've got singers. Harmony.
It's not just loud music.
Yeah, well, it takes a bit of skill.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
sure.
So that was how. Yeah, and how did the private school work for you?
Well, I apparently I may have ADD or ADHD or whatever, but
We all have
the regimen of the private school, and that helped a whole bunch, and it helped me with my scholastic marks because I don't know, I did okay in high school.
Well, we all have something. We're all on the spectrum somewhere. That's why they call it a spectrum.
Yeah, it's on the spectrum. I like that. Oh, there you go. I'm just on the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are over the edge you have to worry about.
You got to celebrate that.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, so just being in the valley in general and living at the lake, I mean, we came in and you talked about it. We all voted for Shuswap when they were voting for
Exactly.
It's like
Like, terrible place. Don't come here.
Yeah. But then we had the luck of the first fire at Cameron Lake that shut the lake.
Yeah.
Lake to ourselves for half a summer. Again for a little bit last year. It's we should put a toll bridge on.
Well, it probably would be nice to, now I'm getting political, to have another road out of town, because it really would, it would be good.
When I've been on transportation committees, we've got studies in engineering, and it just doesn't seem to be the political will for that. But
maybe one day. Yeah.
One day, it would be nice to have a second route that isn't past Ubo and along the coast.
Yeah.
So, but but being here at the lake, I think, is as great a place as, if you're semi-retired, do a lot still. But that it's still nice to get up in the morning. You say you're a morning person.
Yeah, and I love, well, that's my volunteering, is helping with music festivals, and I do a little bit of, like last week I was in Terrace doing band clinics, and they have a wonderful music program up there, very supported, and so I was doing that, and I got a doing adjudicating in Victoria, but mostly volunteering and helping with different festivals. And we have a festival run here, a concert band and orchestra and choir festival that the guys at the high school run, and I help them with whatever they need. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the fabric of this community. I think also it's volunteerism. I know a community with a heart. You've been involved in with projects. We talked to other people we've interviewed, with everything from the seniors games to the summer games to the winter games. This community seems to come out. We're geographically a community, more so than many other areas.
Yeah.
Just come out and help and do what we can.
And it's, well, and hopefully it continues, that the young people get involved, and they might get involved in a different way.
Yeah.
But because I don't think we still have all the different service clubs like we used to.
No, they've really struggled out.
Yeah.
Capacity in every organization becomes more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is it's hard on young couples to make ends meet, right?
They're mostly working.
And time has become so much harder to.
Harder to find.
Yeah. That's right.
Anyway, so you said you're going to have to. They have to carry you out of here because that's my thoughts exactly. So,
I can't imagine. I mean, my husband was in a serious motorcycle accident in July 9th, 2022, and he's still recovering with physio and everything. But but every 2 years we were trying to go, like we had gone to Southeast Asia, we did New Zealand, we did the South America, Galapagos Islands, and
nice.
Vietnam another year. But so I'm hoping that next year we'll spend at least 5 weeks traveling, and that but in the winter, not in the summer. Why would
in the summer? Yeah.
Well, my wife and I leave here on the July and August long weekends because the lake gets too busy, and that we're. Right.
Well, then that's when you have a party.
All right. Now that's when my brother-in-law has a party at my house.
Yeah.
So you got to get together with your neighbors and form. We might need a driver, caretaker, gardener, run to the drugstore for the medicine for us, or pick up our groceries someday. But we can still sit here and enjoy it, right?
Absolutely.
So I have to organize that.
Yes.
So are you still actively playing a lot of music, like piano?
Yeah, I play in our local. My husband runs a local Harbor City big band community.
Oh, okay.
Amateur jazz band. He plays trombone in it. I have played a lot of. I played bass in it. I played trombone one year. Piano. Right now I'm doing trumpet because there's a really talented piano player in grade 11 that we want to encourage. And there's a concert band run by Josh Kynock at ADSS, the band teacher, and Kennedy O'Donovan, and I play trumpet in that. And then on Thursday nights, I've just picked up, after 50 years or so, the violin again.
Oh, good for
and
you.
They're very nice to me and patient with me. So my fingers aren't quite moving as fast as I want them to. And then Mike Villette recruited me for the handbells, so I'm doing that as well.
Yeah. So in his concerts twice a year.
Yeah.
You're in that group. Oh,
yeah. So.
And my wife was part of that choir, and she's now with
a singer.
Yeah, she loves.
So in name dropping, Werbrick. Now, Ian Werbrick's looking after my heart for him.
Absolutely. He does the same for me too.
But his little brother was he was with Phil Dwyer doing some stuff, and a guitarist as a teenager. He did some work for me, but I hope he's still in music, and I don't know if he is. He's
running this student jazz festival, they were in a really great one of my very good friends, Carmela Luvisoto at Wellington Secondary. And she has a great jazz program, and they went through. So Ian played, I believe he played the trumpet, and Cameron was the guitar player, I think. And so I think there was 3 or 4 boys in that band, and I think they all were musicians in there.
I noticed, like he was very good with it, but I see him as a contractor builder, and I haven't heard him playing music.
Well, no, that's Miss Dr. Warbrick has helped me with my heart as well. So awesome.
Yes, and that's another thing about the community. We've had some great, that Robbie Dwyer. I mean, we've had some amazing people here in our medical community over the years.
Every time there's a locum for my GP, I try to recruit them.
That's good. And a few of them live at the lake.
That's part of the Bible draw.
It's beautiful.
But I don't get the city draw. Both our children live in Toronto, and our daughter and her partner are both jazz musicians, and our son is a jazz musician, but it's just become a rock musician. Last August, he got picked up by a rock band called the Sheepdogs and went on a tour with Bryan Adams. They were they were the warm-up band for Bryan Adams.
Really?
So, and they're doing another tour, and they've got a new album, and then they're going to Europe. So he's having the time of his life, and he has a very understanding wife. And then so 3 musicians. So they live in Toronto, but they'll never afford a house in Toronto. That's too. So, but hopefully, eventually, they'll end up with this. And
so, just to back up a little bit, when you got your job, Bill, to come to Port Alberni, the southernmost area that would hire you, we had Dwayne Parfit talk about when he was in Prince George or Fort St. John or someplace, and he got offered a job in Port Alberni, and he said, "I'll take it," because he was from the island, and he wanted to get back to the island. And everybody said, "Port Alberni, why would you go to Port Alberni? What did you do wrong that the bank's transferring you there?" And I said, "It was the best movie ever made."
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, it's. Of course, I love to say to people when they do the Port Alberni, I say, terrible place, don't move here.
Yeah. Keep it the way it is. Thank you very much. Unless you're going to start a business and employ some younger people.
And yes, and also it's a wonderful place to bring up kids. I just remember, at any given time there was 2 or 3 or 4 competing dance schools. Any kind of karate, and
all that stuff.
My cats. Anyway, any kind of karate, any kind of sports you wanted, and everything to do with that is reasonably priced.
Sport operator too.
And
and a fellow that's done a big business and employed a lot of people just lives over here and.
Right?
In the Colson group. So.
And he's just down the way.
Just down the way, very close.
Yeah.
And his son's little cross
across the road there.
Yeah. No one.
Oh, that's good. Well, I think that was quite interesting. Sarah Falls, and a wonderful musician and teaching for years here in Port Alberni. So I've been really looking forward to this, and I think mission accomplished. It was really quite enjoyable listening to Sarah here. So you ever get a chance to hear her play, take that chance. So with that, thanks very much. Consequential Conversations. And till next time. Bye now. Oh, where's my mouse?
Thank you.